Some people tap their feet, some people snap their fingers, and some people just sway back and forth. I just sort of do them all together, I guess.
And now here is Elvis Presley.
I got news for you, baby.
So excited, I can't wait.
I think Presley was a star.
Well, heard the news.
Oh, he's such a sexy person. He will always be the king no matter what.
Hello everybody. Many thanks to all the people who helped me increase the viewership of last month's video. The counter is now at more than 16,000 views and I am very happy with that. I hope it will not be a one-time thing, but that it will have a lasting effect. On July 30, there will be a one-off screening of Reinventing Elvis in the cinemas worldwide. I would love to read your reactions to the film in the comments section. My name is Emil Meyer and you are now watching the Elvis Presley News Report of August 2023. The new feature-length documentary Reinventing Elvis, the 68 comeback, about the making of the television special will play on more than 800 screens worldwide beginning July 30th. The special one-day-only presentations will be accompanied by cinema-exclusive material, such as additional scenes that aren't in the final film. The theatrical release of Reinventing Elvis comes 2 weeks before the film makes its global streaming debut on Paramount Plus on Tuesday, August 15 in the US and Canada, and internationally on Wednesday, August 16 in the UK, Latin America, Brazil, France, Germany, Switzerland, Austria and Italy. Reinventing Elvis takes a deeper dive into the making of the comeback special, featuring interviews from some of the surviving performers, like for instance the now 76-year-old Susan Henning. But it is Steve Binder who remains the final authority on this particular slice of rock history. The now 90-year-old director shares some new stories from his one-on-one collaboration with Elvis.
An Iowa woman got married at Graceland this summer, and when she returned home, she discovered some Elvis memorabilia from the estate ended up in her luggage.
Well, it's now returned to the home of the king, but not before leaving the woman who made the discovery all shook up. KCRG TV9's Molly Swain brings us the story.
This is the crown that was in the box.
And before it was in this box, a fan gave this crown to Elvis at the conclusion of the Aloha from Hawaii concert in 1973.
Elvis touched this stuff. This is huge. This should not have left Memphis. Like, how did we get this?
And in 2023, the crown in a box with other artifacts traveled from Graceland to the living room of Lisa Jennings in Kelowna, Iowa, after she held her wedding there this June. When Jennings asked, "How did we get this?" her husband had a clue.
And he goes, "Oh, so-and-so, the wedding planner, he put it in our car. I thought it was yours."
Jennings said after her discovery, she called Graceland. They initially wanted her to mail the items back, but she said she was too nervous.
I want to trust that it's going back to Graceland where it deserves to be. So she agreed to come up to Iowa and pick it up.
Jennings said she put the question to Graceland employees of how this box of artifacts was even able to get mixed up with her luggage in the first place.
We don't know. We don't know. She said it was a big accident. They had to review videos and footage. She did say it takes 2 keys to get to the vault, and that in 40 years this has never happened.
You could say Jennings was the perfect person to make this discovery, both because she immediately worked to get the items home, but also because how much Elvis means to her.
I was named after Lisa Murray, so that's why we got married there.
Jennings said carrying home a few pieces of Elvis's life was surreal and exciting, but she also knew, in the end, the crown had to return to the king.
It was just amazing. It really was. But I'm just thankful it's on its way back to Memphis where it belongs.
In the Elvis Presley News Report of July 2022, I ran a story about the material of which this crown is made. I saw the crown on display at the exhibition at the O2 in London. In my view, the crown was made out of cardboard. Other fans thought it was made out of a thin sheet metal. To put an end to all speculations about the material that was used for the Aloha crown, I decided to pop the question to Angie Marchese of the Elvis Archive at Graceland. And her reply was, it is made of a thick cardboard. Angie. Anita Wood died on June 29, 2023 of pneumonia in Jackson, Mississippi. In her teens, Anita Wood became a media personality, later a radio DJ and singer who recorded for the Sun label and subsequently for the Santo label. She first met Elvis in July 1957 when she was on the Wink Martindale show. George Klein introduced her to Elvis, who invited her to Graceland. They became serious dates from 1957 through the Army years to 1962. Elvis always referred to her as his #1 girl. Anita Wood signed a contract to work for Paramount Pictures but gave it up to be with Elvis. In 1965, she married professional Football League player Johnny Brewer and had 3 children with him. Her daughter wrote a book about the years of her mother with Elvis, titled Once Upon a Time, Elvis and Anita. Anita Wood was 85. In short, the Warner Archive Collection unveiled their August Blu-ray slate, which will officially include Elvis Presley's 1966 musical comedy Spin Out. But this news item even gets better, as the Blu-ray of this movie is a new HD Master 4K scan from the original camera negative.
Sofia Coppola's highly anticipated film Priscilla will have its North American premiere on October 6th at the New York Film Festival. The A24 film about Elvis's wife joins May-December from Netflix in this year's lineup.
In the video of June, I asked you to write down your Elvis funeral song in the comments section. Well, I received 115 entries. Not surprisingly, many of them were of course gospel songs, but a few entries were very original song choices, like for instance, I'll Be Back, Happy Ending, Funny How Time Slips Away, and Long Black Limousine. Unfortunately, I won't be able to play you snippets of the songs, otherwise I won't be able to monetize the video due to copyrighted material. But, based on the songs submitted, I can now present you the top 10 Elvis funeral songs as chosen by the fans. Well, actually it is a top 11 because 4 songs got 3 votes each. So number 11 to 8 are the songs I'll Remember You, If We Never Meet Again, Lead Me, Guide Me, and Somebody Bigger Than You and I. At number 7 and 6 are the songs who got 4 votes, My Way and Peace in the Valley. At number 5 with 6 votes is Where No One Stands Alone. Numbers 3 and 4 are the songs who got 8 votes each, Memories and Take My Hand Precious Lord. At number 2 with 10 votes is You'll Never Walk Alone. And drum roll. At number 1 with 12 votes is How Great Thou Art. Thank you to everyone who entered, as it is a great overview of songs that would not be out of place at Elvis fans' funerals. In the Elvis Presley News Report of April, I told you the honest story about the fleet of airplanes that Elvis once owned. Jimmy Webb is making the world believe that he owns an airplane that once was Elvis's. This is only partially true. Elvis bought this particular airplane as an investment, but he never saw the plane in his life, nor did he ever set foot in it. For the full story, please watch the April 2023 video of mine. Now Jimmy is taking it up a notch further. He is now selling parts of the airplane for ridiculous prices. I have doubts whether Jimmy bought a license from EPE to use Elvis's name on the tags that he is now selling. If not, then he is about to receive a nasty letter from the lawyers of Graceland. Buyers, please be aware and do not be fooled by the claim that you are buying a piece of Elvis's plane. Now, while we are on the subject of airplanes, I received a very excited email from Carlos Valenti because his book, The Airplanes and the King, is now being sold in the aviation store that is situated next to the King's Birds. He worked many years on his book and now his dream has become true, as his book is on the shelves at the Graceland shop. Congratulations, Carlos, on a job well done. Hello everybody, it's trivia time. And in last month's trivia, I showed you 4 song titles of the It Happened at the World's Fair soundtrack. The trivia question was, which song does not belong on this list and why? I also told you that this was the most difficult trivia question in the history of my channel. So that pretty much indicates that the most obvious choice, in this case One Broken Heart for Sale, was not correct. True, it was released as a single, but like the rest, it was also a song of the soundtrack album. The soundtrack was recorded on 2 session dates, August 30th and September 22nd, 1962. On August 30, Elvis was not feeling well and was only able to record Happy Ending and Relax. By the time Elvis returned on September 22nd, the Jordanaires were unavailable, so a local group named The Mellow Men took their place. So the correct answer had to be Happy Ending, because the other 3 songs had the backing vocals of The Mellow Men instead of the Jordanaires. Because I really have taken a liking at these multiple choice questions, I continue with the same type of question. The trivia question for this month is, which song does not belong on this list and why? Place your answer in the comments below and please come back next month when I reveal the answer. Good luck everybody, and here is that list. In the Elvis Presley News Report of May, I showed you that I had bought an original 40 by 60 inches movie poster of Love Me Tender from 1956. Because of the condition of the movie poster, I had it restored by the fabulous Margelma van Breugel, who did a wonderful job. I am not going into great detail, but I do show what she has done. But first, some background information on this size poster. Movie posters were rented by the cinemas and had to be returned immediately after the close of the show to the distributor. This had to be done because the movie reels and promotion material could then be sent out to the next movie theater. So, movie posters were used and shipped many times until the movie went out of distribution. You have to bear in mind that the common one-sheet movie posters were printed in quantities of 10,000 and up, but the 40 by 60 inches movie poster that we are now discussing were only printed in quantities of a few hundred. These would cost a theater up to 20 times as much to rent when compared to a one-sheet movie poster. The reason for this was that the 40 by 60 inches movie posters were printed on heavy cardstock and that they were shipped rolled in a tube. Now there are 2 things which you can do with a 67-year-old poster. Or you restore it, or you can preserve it. We decided not to restore it because in the end the poster would look like new. With a full restoration you would, for instance, fill in the white lines that are visible. Look, here you see a white line in this black area of the poster. It would make the poster look like new if we would fill in all these white lines. We want to keep the feel of this vintage poster, and part of that are the imperfections, so we choose for preservation. Due to the many times the poster was rolled up for transport, most of the damage occurred on the top and bottom of the poster. Over the years, the poster also received many dents during transport in its tube, and because of that, the left and right sides of the poster got damaged, so we focused on that. The first thing that Magelma did was dry clean the back of the poster with old-fashioned pencil eraser. With the dirt removed from the back, the dirt can no longer penetrate the paper during further treatment. The most tears were on the top and bottom of the poster, and they were held together by two types of tape. Magelma managed to remove the tapes with various treatments. The paper is built up by many thin layers. The paper at the outside of the poster is very dry and wrinkled, and as a result of that, the paper layers are split. To feed the paper and to make it compact again at the edges, a glue that stays flexible after it is dry is applied between the open layers and pressed together. The big tears are not repaired with tape anymore, but with special Japanese paper and a flexible glue. This same Japanese paper was used to recreate the left bottom corner that was missing. This part of the poster had received the most damage. To further strengthen the edges, strips of thin Japanese paper have been applied to the back with a special glue. The paper was then flattened, which reduced the waviness of the poster. Finally, the poster is attached to a sheet of acid-free cardboard. This cardboard buffer protects the poster against influences such as moisture and acidification. As a side effect, the cardboard ensures that the poster does not sag in the frame. The poster is now ready for many years on my wall. On August 26, 2023, Rock and Roll Cafe Cruisin' in Amsterdam will be holding its annual Elvis Night. Doors open at 9 o'clock and the band The Supersonics will be on stage at 10 o'clock. Spinning the wax will be DJ Eric and yours truly, Emil Meyer. Admission is €10 and more info can be found on cruise-in.com. Let's meet on August 26 for a night with kindred spirits. That's all for this month. Hope to see you next time. Until then, have a happy Elvis Presley Day.